There once was a boy named Elias. He was 16 years old, but there was something in his eyes that didn't belong to someone his age. It was the quiet weight of someone who had already lived too much, felt too deeply. His world had grown small, for walls, a narrow bed, and the fragile, uneven sound of his mother's breathing filling the silence. Every morning began with the same fear. He would wake up and lie still for a few seconds, listening. Is she still breathing? Only when he heard that soft, fragile rhythm did he dare to open his eyes fully. Slowly, carefully, he would turn toward her. "Mom," he whispered, as if even his voice might be too loud. Sometimes she opened her eyes and gave him a faint smile. And that small moment, that single fragile expression, was enough to carry him through another day. His life had become care. Not the ordinary worries of a boy his age, but a heavy, constant responsibility pressing against his chest. He worked wherever he could, long days, short nights. Carrying groceries, washing dishes, doing anything that brought in a few coins. His hands grew rough. His body grew tired. But his heart stayed soft. Everything he did for her. At night, he sat beside her bed, under the dim light of an old flickering lamp that seemed just as tired as he was. He read stories aloud, even when her eyes stayed closed and her breathing barely changed. "I can hear you," she sometimes whispered. And that was enough. But the days grew heavier. Her voice faded. Her eyes remained closed longer. It felt as if she was drifting further away, as if he was holding on to someone who had already begun to let go. One evening, as rain tapped gently against the window, Elias felt it. Something was different. The air in the room was heavier. Still. Too still. He sat beside her and took her hand. "Mom?" No answer. His heart began to race. "Mom, please," slowly, very slowly. Her eyes opened. Weak but clear. "Elias," she whispered. "I'm here," he said immediately, his voice breaking. "I'm not going anywhere." She looked at him, and in that look was everything: love, pride, and goodbye. "You carried me when I could no longer walk," she said softly. "You held me when I was falling." Tears streamed down his face. "That's what you do for someone you love," she smiled faintly. "And now, you have to let me go." He shook his head immediately. "No, I can't. I don't want to." His grip tightened around her hand, as if he could stop time itself. "I'm scared without you." Her fingers moved slightly, as if trying one last time to comfort him. "You are never without me, do you understand that?" He closed his eyes and rested his forehead gently against her hand. "I just want a little more time, one more day, but life does not always give one more day." Her breathing became softer, slower. Elias held her hand and began to speak, as if his words could bring her back. "Do you remember when we went to the sea? You told me the waves always come back, no matter what." A tear fell onto her hand. "So come back too? Mom, please." But the room stayed silent. And then, so quietly, her breathing stopped. No sound, no movement, only a silence, so deep it seemed to swallow everything. Elias didn't move. He didn't let go of her hand. Minutes passed, maybe hours. Time no longer existed. His world had stopped. The days that followed felt unreal. People spoke to him, but their words sounded distant, like echoes underwater. The apartment felt colder, emptier, as if even the walls missed her. He kept walking into her room. Sometimes he sat beside the bed and spoke softly, as if she could still hear him. "I worked today. I was tired, but it was okay." No answer. Only silence. Weeks passed. One evening, he sat by the window. The sky was painted in soft shades of orange as the sun slowly disappeared. The light fell just as it used to, back when she would sit there and smile at something as simple as the day ending. He closed his eyes and let everything come. The pain, the loss, the love. His breath broke, and he began to cry, not quietly but deeply. Not only for what he had lost, but for everything he still carried inside. After a while, it grew quiet within him. Not empty but still, as if the storm had finally softened. He opened his eyes and looked at the last trace of sunlight fading beyond the horizon. Then, softly, he whispered, "I didn't let you go." His voice was fragile, but certain. "I just carry you in a different way now." He placed his hand on his chest, right where she had touched him, there where it still felt warm. "And as long as I breathe, a part of you lives with me." A gentle breeze moved the curtain. For a moment, it felt like something brushed past him. Elias smiled through his tears. Not because the pain was gone, but because he understood that she was never truly gone. And as night slowly fell, he remained there, no longer alone in grief, but held by a love that even death could not break.